So we got up early this morning so we could stain this deck.
It's very early for me, so I'm not the morning person.
I'm the morning person, and I'm just ready to go.
You ready? Let's do it.
The project actually started on this day when we took pictures prior to getting the deck power washed.
See, this is our parents' deck, and it was modified with this ramp so that my grandfather could have accessibility with his wheelchair into the home. And sometimes when parents are aging, they're not able to take care of the outside of the home as much.
As you can see, the deck has been a little bit neglected, so we're here to give it some DIY power couple love. And those bricks are going to be cleaned, along with all those boards on that deck.
So me and hubby, we're going to go ahead and give it some protective coating with a stain.
If you have an older deck like ours, you have to clean it before you stain it.
I was so glad to see that the outside of the home was getting a refresh as well.
I didn't realize how dirty the deck was until it was being power washed.
Cleaning the front and the back of the home, oh my gosh, it was just bringing me so much joy to see my parents' home being revitalized.
The tricky part about this DIY is that you have to plan it when there's no rain in the forecast. It's very important to let the deck completely dry because we're using a water-based stain.
For us, it took about 2 days of hot sun, but now the planks were really dry. We had a family meeting and picked out our color, so now it was time to get the stain.
We decided to go with a water-based product instead of oil to make cleanup much easier. We felt like the semi-transparent stains would be best for our deck.
I was interested in seeing how this color was going to turn out because I usually like darker stains like the one we did for our fence, but I wanted to give it a chance to see if it could really work with this older deck.
We wanted coverage, but we wanted the wood grain to show. This product is an all-weather protection stain and sealer. We're so happy that we found one that was all combined. We're glad that it has both because this is going to help us save time. This is a popular color, so we didn't have to get it tinted. All we had to do is get it shaken and taken to the house.
And now it's time for a good night's sleep.
We got her up this morning.
Early.
We're drilling the nails down because over time some of the boards have warped and pulled them up. Since it was early in the morning, I may have disturbed some of the neighbors because drilling the nails back in was a little loud. It was important for us to drill the nails down, otherwise the brush wouldn't flow correctly over the deck and cause a pool of stain under the nail.
I didn't realize there were so many things you had to do before you could actually get to staining. We had to sweep up the debris, pull up any nails that we saw sticking up, pull up any weeds or grass that had grown through the deck, take off any remaining end tags from the wood planks, and clean up any bird droppings from the last power wash. We set out all the tools that we were going to use for staining, and the fun part for us was going to see which one actually helped us. When we opened this stain, we were surprised at how watery it was because this thing was heavy. I thought it was going to be thick like a paint or a primer, but it literally was very, very watery.
We decided to pour on the grass instead of the concrete because we weren't sure if we would be able to clean it up. Luckily, it poured out slow enough to not make a big spill.
And we did it.
We were unsure which tool was going to work best, so we decided to use them both. The tool that worked best for us had to be both practical and versatile. In our opinion, there was a clear winner, but we'll let you be the judge of that.
And we'll leave a link to the products in the description. The first tool we tried was this deck stain brush. The second product was a wool floor applicator for stains. Both of these products were threaded so that we can use an extension pole. And basically we wanted to see how easily these products pushed this type of stain across our deck. These products were recommended, but I noticed that they were used with thicker stains and on decks that were sanded or just in better condition. Since our deck wood was a little rough, we wanted to see which product would work the best, especially for our different staining styles.
The deck brush seemed like it was able to put more stain on the sides of the planks, and the wool applicator seemed like it put more stain on top of the planks. We see why both of these tools work well, but for our thinner stain and older deck, The deck brush worked better. Since we didn't have to worry about overspray from a sprayer, I carefully cut in the planks around the brick. The smaller brush also allowed me to use stain in between the planks. I actually took my time during this part because, as you can see, I didn't use any painter's tape. I used an angle cutting brush specifically made for stain to get into the corners. I'm not sure if we've already said it, but this is the first time that we've stained a deck. We found that the deck brush covers way more on the railings than a regular paintbrush. I really like the way it feels in my hand when I'm moving it side to side.
I always had to be mindful of the drips that I was making when I used the brush. It was so hot that day that the stain drops would dry quickly. We were back brushing the stain a lot to make sure it was evenly distributed. And this made it take a longer time to get that first coat on. We would do about 2 or 3 planks at a time and then go back with the smaller brush to fill in any of the spots we missed.
The sun was beating on our necks and our backs because there was no shade around the deck. It was getting way too hot, so we had to focus and get this first coat done.
Day 2 was all about getting that second coat on as soon as possible. It seemed like the sun came up quicker that day, but we could tell that this wood was soaking up the stain. It was encouraging to see the deck transformation right before our eyes. This is the spot on the deck where it would have been handy to have a sprayer.
We worked so hard on this deck, we wanted to make sure that every inch of it was covered. We painted the top, bottom, inside, and out. We worked together to make sure that no stain drip was left behind. Hey babe, I see one right there. This has been a long 2 days. Are you ready to see if this made a difference?
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this deck. It is like a brand new space out here. We gave this wood deck new life, and our mom was so amazed by it, she sent pictures to all her friends. Look at that before. And now look at it.
I guess all the hard work paid off.
We are ready to add furniture and lights, and we need your suggestions.
Let us know what you would do, and thanks for watching. And remember, you can DIY too.